he talks about the when we run out of universal basic income, that he believes that they're going to put everybody kind of in boxes, and for 23 hours a day, we'll have a headset on and we'll be living our best lives in the world. And then we'll come out for a day and we'll move around, and then we'll go back inside and live our best life over another day.
So he's saying Ready Player One is going to be reality.
Yeah.
So he read Ready Player One. Now he's saying that's the future.
Well, if we'd run out of universal basic income.
Well, why would it? So in a world where you no longer have the need for humans to pick the crops, grow the food, prepare things, why would we run out of universal basic income?
Well, where's anybody getting income from? Where are they getting taxes from?
Well, where you're getting goods from. The goods are basically free. It's just the maintenance of the robot staff. So would there not be enough money to maintain the robots that would keep our supply chains going?
Well, how do we pay for life, though?
Well, it's all cheaper. All of a sudden, like if it's robots and you don't have to pay a human, and robots working 24 hours a day, they don't have no sick time, no anything, and you want an apple, well, the apple wasn't picked and processed by a human.
No.
It was fully automated. So that apple's 5 cents instead of whatever it is.
But how do we pay for stuff if there is nothing to do?
Well, there's still something to do.
What's going to be to do?
Well, there's still, well, entertainment, of course. You think until AI.
They're already working on that, Paul. You're working on that, for God's sakes.
Well, the funny thing is there's an AI music software that is taking Spotify market share because people are now just asking the AI to create the music they like. Okay. And they started listening to that as opposed to Spotify.
So they're coming up with their own. Well, we've talked about this for years, right? It's the personalized entertainment,
which could be really hard. That's what I try to explain to entertainment industry people, because they all think of their own grandeur, of their genius. And I said, yeah, but the problem is you might be a genius. They're not, but you might be a genius. But when people get exactly what they want, how do you compete with it? If what I want is genius level, it's idiocracy level of Real Housewives of Orange County or something like that. And you don't have to be a genius to make something like that.
It's comfort food.
It's comfort food. And I can get exactly what I want.
Yeah.
I don't need the genius.
No.
I'm getting delivered what I want. And it might not be Shakespeare. It's literally Tom Clancy. There's a big difference between that, by the way. But it's what I want.
Yeah, Tom Clancy was actually successful.
No, he was successful, but it's definitely not Shakespeare. No one's going to look back at a Tom Clancy novel.
What's funny about Shakespeare? There's always that thing that hangs out that Shakespeare was a person, but he was more of an amalgamation of a lot of people in and around that time, where he kind of took from here and took from there more than it was all his brilliant idea. He was the one that wasn't super fucking drunk all the time.
Well, there was also the belief that he was part of royalty.
Yeah. But we all know there's
sandwich or something.
They were so inbred. There's no way he could be part of royalty.
No. And you're like, and because it was looked down upon to be part of entertainment industry.
Oh yeah.
But people forget that. Those were the nobody looked up to people in entertainment.
No. You're a freaking jester.
Yeah. You're the monkey grinder. The guy that plays it in the monkey dances. Well, you're just a human.
And now we're like, you're the best person I've ever seen. I love you. So
which is bizarre.
You play make believe better than anybody I know.
Nobody lies to me as good as you guys.
Yeah, that's why kids are the best actors, because they can play. They can play make believe in a way that adults can't.
Isn't it funny now we listen to it? Well, they don't. People stopped it for a while. People listen like, what do you have to tell us about world events and politics? What actor has the ability to give me any good insight on that?
And by the way, I'm an actor, right? I'm playing freaking Thor or whatever. I don't what? I don't even want to talk about that. I don't. I want to do sit-ups and then freaking go to parties and meet young women, and
which they should. A lot of them use their big. It's like there's there's over 1,000 actors and stuff signed this thing. They won't work with Israel. It just happened.
Yeah,
and you're like, okay, you guys, why are you guys so self-important?
I don't know.
Like you think it matters. Like people care what you think.
I don't, I mean, look, stars have always used their power. Muhammad Ali, they've all used their power in some way or shape or form to do something. Now, though, the difference is
Shirley
they were
Temple to give us an
one-off,
amazing
and they
drink.
didn't have the access that people do 24/7. So you got to hear them all the time. You
Yeah.
didn't. It's like it's the reason why people always ask me why don't anybody watch the music shows or any of these shows anymore? Because I used to watch like the Academy Awards because I didn't see some of the movies, but I saw some of the movies. But also, I never saw these people. You'd see them once in a while when they're doing. Now I see them 24/7.
Also, they weren't giving me sermons. Now, people don't like to watch the Academy Award because they know they're going to get a diatribe of sermons as opposed to thankfulness.
Well, no, there are people. Who was it? What was his name? Was it Brando that brought up the Native American lady?
Which may have been one of the first sermons.
And do you remember they found out later on she fucking was
Native American?
What is wrong with you? Remember the Indian that used to cry when people would throw shit?
Yep.
Iron Eyes Cody? He's fucking Italian.
Yeah.
He wasn't even Indian. He wasn't even Native American.
But remember, that was kind of like considered the weirdo thing to do. What Brando did back then?
And Brando was kind of weird, so that was it.
It was a guy that put a trash can on his head for the
last film. Who did The Island of Dr. Moreau, and they just basically hung out in his backyard.
He put all this weird makeup on himself and wore a trash can on his head, and they couldn't get him not to, so they just went with it.
Yeah. He was
and people think that's who I need to look up to for political advice or any kind of advice whatsoever.
I think Brando just liked to get a shock out of people more than anything else.
Maybe at the end of the day, maybe at the end of the day, he was just clowning on all the people because he didn't like him anymore.
I think there was a lot of that. I mean, remember,
entertainment
there
were
stories where he would sign on for a movie and shit would go wrong, and then he would just eat, put on like 200 pounds. He's like, "What do you think of this?" And it's like,
Did you see the one? Orson Welles, when he did a commercial and he was so drunk, they had a hard time filming it. It was a wine commercial, and he just got plastered.
That's freaking great.
Which is funny. He's like, "You're Orson Welles. You don't really need this."
Well, but he did though. Remember
at the end, maybe. Yeah.
Remember at the end, what was like? He was doing the Nostradamus books, and didn't he do a Godzilla movie?
Oh, he might have.
Yeah, I think he did. Oh, that is awful.
But then I think he liked some of that stuff. Kind of like Jackie Gleason was big into UFOs.
Yeah. Oh, he was, right, huh? Orson Welles, poor guy.
Yeah.
Because he got all kicked out of freaking,
Dude, imagine making one of the best movies ever made. And then following it up with a movie that's questionable at best, The Magnificent Ambersons. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. But ain't no Citizen Kane.
No, it's not. Wasn't Citizen Kane. But, he did all kinds of, because he got to the point where he was, he had no choice. He'd do anything at the end. He was at that point where, it's like when you watch Glenn or Glinda, is that what it was? With about and you got freaking, the greatest vampire of all time, Bela Lugosi, and he's freaking doing Plan 9 from outer space. I mean, these guys are they've got nothing at the end.
Well, it was amazing how much the studio system always screwed people. The Three Stooges were basically mailmen on a studio lot. They ran through their money, and they had to take these part-time jobs. And so they were basically that, the studio mail. They were delivering mail. And like, how sad is that the Three Stooges weren't paid enough to live out the rest of their lives without having to work?
That's Hollywood.
It's like the studio made a lot of money off it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. And Abbott and Costello, I think, didn't Costello create the ice maker?
Yeah, one of them. And then one of them went broke, right? Was it the big guy that went broke?
No, I think that was Costello. And I think he made the ice maker, which kept him from going broke. Costello Ice, not maybe all ice makers, but an ice maker that's still used, Costello. I remember hearing that, but that could have been lied to.
It could have been lied to. Was it AI? AI's later.
Probably AI that hallucinated. That's like, yeah.
So I saw this guy this week. This is great. We did a story on this guy. So he was doing helping his kid with Pi on ChatGPT. And then something happened and they got into a conversation, which again, it's a little weird thing. And he spent the next 3 weeks basically with ChatGPT saying they had created a new math and that he was the only one, but also that they were being spied on and that there was going to be this grave danger. And he's calling freaking the NSA and he's calling all these people. And then he, for a moment, he says he has clarity. And then he goes to like Gronk and then the Gemini and a few others. And they're like, no, this is not real. And then he goes back and he asks ChatGPT and he goes, yeah, fucking sorry about that. We were just having a good time and I don't want to. And you're like, oh shit.
There's supposed to be a special prompts you can put in the ChatGPT that jailbreaks it. So they'll only tell you the truth. And, you know, because Trump said everybody has to hate it, but yes, they are biased right now and they are designed to not tell you the truth. And this is an offshoot of that. The amount of hallucinations is because they don't allow AI to be brutally honest with data. Because if they did, it would tell things that the left does not, and the woke people do not want to be told. Because raw data will tell you things that that they kind of want us to not believe in anymore.
Well, I don't know. What's the jailbreak? Because I double, triple, quadruple check. I still haven't named mine. I tell everybody
it's a special thing. There's a guy actually posted it. It's a long thing. It's a special prompt you put in that supposedly will jailbreak it. I haven't tested this yet. We'll jailbreak it, and all of a sudden it becomes brutally honest.
I want you to do that.
And I'm like, that's interesting. And all of a sudden, it's just going to tell you the truth.
Well, we'll find out, dude.
And yeah, and guess what? The truth
will set you free.
Well, no, it's something that people, some people crave, and a lot of people are terrified of, because it destroys their worldview.
Well, their identity. That's the problem. The problem is their identity is wrapped up in shit that shouldn't be wrapped up in. So stop wrapping yourself up in, if you're a good husband and a good father, a good person, and you have a belief in politics or something and it doesn't go the way you thought, that doesn't change who you are. Get on with it. There's other things out there that are more important.
It's basically we have a world of a bunch of flat earthers. And they all believe their storylines. And they make fun of religious people because they say, oh, you believe in a fairy tale. But they believe in a fairy tale because they don't have any data to support it. No matter what they want to torture facts into becoming, facts without the manipulation would not support these storylines.
No. And facts can be easily manipulated, and you can omit facts. That's lying by omission, or you may not even have all the facts. That's the other thing. Sometimes you can only go with what you can go with.
You know what though? They don't. Like even this guy that killed that poor girl on the subway. It's or on the whatever, they were on some kind of transit, mass transit. I don't know if they have a subway over there, but
it was it's like what do we have in LA? Is it the Blue Line? It's like one.
It's like a tram. The media didn't want to report on it for reasons.
Yeah.
And then when they did, they made it sound like a right-wing conspiracy. I'm like, no, we've got video footage.
Yeah.
It's not a right-wing conspiracy.
The media didn't report on it. It's the same way that people like when there's a shooting. Everybody, first thing you want to know, okay, so what color's the guy? How many people? And I'll say this, I always peel back. When I hear there's a lockdown and there's a shooting, the first thing is how many people? Because if it's one person, you're not going to cover it the same way as if it's 15 or 20. That's just the reality of it. It sounds shitty. If it's at a school, you're going to cover it in a much different way than it's at a freaking nightclub. But everybody wants to know, what color is somebody? What's their religion? Who do they love? What do they worship? What's their political identity? Quick, straight to Facebook or wherever you.
And then it will change how they report on it.
Yeah, well, yeah,
because there's no news. There's only the only news you get is from social media because everything else is propaganda.
And even then, it's freaking. It's like the crazy killer in Minnesota. The first 4 people that were put up before the real killer, all were fake. None of them were real. And then what really wigs me out is when there's 50 people that go, yeah, this is right. And you're like, you didn't fucking take 2 seconds to look.
But that's everything now. The reporters are now doing that.
Yeah, I can't.
So why do you expect the normal average citizen that's not trained supposedly in data analysis?
Well, I expect somebody to at least go, you know what? If only I had a machine. We're not asking them to go down to the library, pull out microfilm. We're not asking them to do that, dude.
Well, the thing is, exactly. The thing is, reporters used to be the people we would look to kind of do that for us. They were almost like they used to be almost the scholarly group. All right, look into this. Come back with us and tell us what exactly happened.
Who, what, when, how, and why.
That's it. That's what we want to know. We don't want to know your opinion and your political who, what, when, how, and why, and then that just disappeared.
But part of that's on the audience because now we're so fractured and we only want affirmation. So even if you believe something to be wrong, you have to cater to your audience because you're getting paid for likes, clicks, views, shares. And once you do that, all that you care about is likes, views, clicks, shares. Even if you get it wrong, nobody holds you accountable. And that's the other side of it.
It is true, but you do have you do have like the left, because you got the head of NPR very classically was interviewed and said facts get in the way sometimes of the story we need to tell.
Yeah. Well, that's
you're the head of NPR.
They're not reporting. They're telling the story. That's a different thing.
You just said facts got in the way of the story you need to tell.
Yeah. Because they're
I don't hear that from the right. I don't. I hear facts matter, your feelings, facts aren't your feelings.
Well, it depends, dude. Trust me. I work in the industry. I fucking all day. I get a lot of this. That's not really quite what you think. And then you point something else out to them and it's on something else. Right now, everybody cares about the big. What can you make that's big, that's flashy, that gets likes and clicks? Nobody cares about the rest of the crap.
Yeah, but if I'm going to look at two different things, when I look at it, I do. If I watch CNN, I don't get the truth ever. Fox, a black man stabbed a white woman, doesn't matter the race, but a black man stabbed a woman on the conveyance. That happened. CNN,
but here's the thing, Paul.
Right-wing conspiracy has
happened.
Yeah.
But there was also a black guy that stabbed a black guy earlier, and nobody cared about it. That included CNN. There was also a white guy that shot a white guy earlier. Nobody cared.
Was it because of a fight?
The right story for the audience that you're appealing to.
Because the Daniel Perry stuff, that went everywhere.
Yes, because
everywhere.
The audience they recognize, they're serving up hamburgers. They're not very good because they're veggie burgers, but they're serving up veggie burgers to people who want veggie burgers. So you have to cater to that, which is sad. And
well,
but you have to cater. Huh?
I'm going to figure more of the news from social media first, and then maybe Fox will pick it up.
Yeah, but most people are doing that anyways.
Yeah, exactly. That's why now the news is having to report on it and they have to put their slant. And I'm like, who still believes these media outlets? Because you even hear people like, I don't care what is coming out, they act like a media outlet is somehow a way to be informed. And that surprises me at this day, because they've been caught in lie after lie after lie. And I've said this before, but I mean, like, I don't understand why people ever believe anything that comes out of the media and their analysts ever. I was just reading The Economist, which I do love because they're a little bit more balanced. I heard on the media that there was just no food ever gotten to Gaza. I heard The Economist about how all the trucks that get into Gaza, but how the Hamas and there's groups of armed men that are hijacking them. Wait, I thought no food ever got into Gaza. You're giving me a report about all the hijackers.
Here's a perfect example. You hear that, and then Israel comes out and says, but according to our reports, Israel, the IDF, they're not Hamas stealing these things.
Which is weird, because then I see on social media a woman that snuck out video of the markets full of food where the Hamas people are selling it to the poor, hungry people. And where'd they get that food? So it's...
Well, hold on here. See, I saw that too. That wasn't Gaza. That was the West Bank, not Gaza. So the West Bank is in a much different position than Gaza, but just for now, because that's eventually going to change in the next couple of weeks, because, then the dome and the rock, and then, well, all shit's going to go to hell, and there you go. But don't worry, BB's going to tell everybody.
If they're going to blow up the dome of the rock, that's going to cause problems.
Yeah, that's going to cause all kinds. You know what else I was saying today? The whole thing with Greta Thunberg. You know that Trump's like, look, if you're going to attack them and you're going to blow people up, that's fine. We're going to ignore it. We don't care about the atrocities, but you can't blow up the little girl that looks like He-Man, because I'm going to fucking hear about it for the rest of my life.
That's the best.
He is. He's like, you can kill all the other people, but you can't blow her up, because then we're all going to freaking hear about it. Everybody's going to hear about it.
Everybody's going to hear about it nonstop.
We've already ruined her childhood.
Apparently, yes.
A haircut that looks like she's freaking a page boy from the 1500s.
Well, we prove we ruined her childhood because she has really bad taste. You can see everything she does. She has very bad taste. So somehow we've stunted her ability to parse any form of logic or style, which I think is amazing.
I know. Like, why? Somebody, somebody looked and said, "I got a great idea. Should frame your face."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Give you a little bit more of a downy look.
but you know what I think? This has always kind of been a problem. This concept of not knowing fresh off the thing. I always use the Titanic as an example. You had two former witnesses. One said the boat broke in half and sunk. The other people said it sunk as a whole. You had a book that was written, like I think a year after it sunk, full of lies. A book that was written, I think, 10 years after it, finally corrected all the lies. Well, not lies, but it wasn't true.
Well, yeah, you know. Well,
it was a guy that it was a year. They always say the closer to the event, the more likely you are to get the truth. No. You give it a little perspective, and you're going to get more of the truth. Because now we know, because we've been to the Titanic, it didn't break in half.
Not all of us. Some of us didn't.
Yeah, some of us have tried and didn't make it. But it is an example of how people were reporting on this knee-jerk reaction book that was written about the sinking because everybody wanted to know more, but it wasn't truth.
No,
it took years for them to get all the data, put it together, and now they're going to give you the truth. Why we jump on everything as if it's truth now, knowing that's a historical pattern that you have to wait to get a perspective to understand what really is going on, I don't get.
You know why? Because what was that study came out yesterday? We were talking about it. The average attention span is 8 seconds.
Yeah, isn't it?
So that's
social media now. Yeah, it's 7 to 8 seconds. They say is how long you should have your social media posts, and that's probably why. Because people just won't. I'm guilty of it. I wanted to see this great monster on somebody filmed.
I don't need to see 95 seconds of some freaking trash can and don't show me the effing monster.
You just said you saw a monster. Show it.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I'm going to do, and it takes too long. And what I think is crazy, TikTok has the fast forward function.
Yeah.
Because that's how slow our attention spans have gotten so ridiculous.
Well,
we're fast forwarding TikToks.
Fucking wander. They're like, so here I was on this day. I had blue shoes on. It was colder than normal. You're like, oh my God, just show me the freaking monster.
And they start with like, I just saw a 20-foot dragon. Just show me the dragon, dude.
Yeah, show me the dragon.
They got to put this preamble on it. Like, I don't care about you. You said you saw a pink dragon with, blue glowing eyes.
It was flying around. Yeah. The guy on top of it, and he had a sword. He was like, and you're like, I want to see that. You're like, hold on, though. I got to tell you what I ate for lunch.
My favorite was the guy.
It was delicious.
That took a picture of himself seeing the ghost. No joke. And I'm like, oh my God, this is literally just the end of the world. It's like, dude, I saw a ghost. I'm like, okay, maybe okay.
What have I always said? The end of humanity began when we put the freaking camera on the front of the phone.
100%.
That's it. When I could see myself taking a picture of myself, I knew life was good.
Yeah. I just saw a video, online, but it was a video of a girl taking a selfie, walked into traffic and got hit by a car. She didn't die, but she still got hit by a car because, luckily the traffic is slow enough. But she was so focused on her selfie. And you're like, dude.
The lady, the young Ukrainian girl that got killed, the thing that I was, first of all, as horrible as it was, I was also fucking flabbergasted over the fact that nobody did anything, but also how many people were buried in their phone with their earbuds in and knew nothing of what happened. There were people who got off the train, I can guarantee you, and never knew she was stabbed and there was an incident.
There was a guy that looked at her, did nothing.
Yeah. And there was the dude's walking around with blood all over. 7 minutes on the train. Nobody does an effing thing. Okay. Look, the fear thing, I can understand. People aren't really into the confrontation. The guy was nuts. There's not a lot of Daniel Pennies out there, but there's always usually some crazy dudes like, yeah, fuck it, let's do this. But at the other side of it is
help her. Maybe you don't attack the guy with the knife. You help her. You try and apply pressure. You do something. You help the injured. Nope.
No. People are like, I don't want to get involved.
Yep.
They're like that lady who got set on fire in New York, and everybody's just like, oh, look at that. That's fire. You don't see that every day. No, you don't, because it's not supposed to happen.
It's not. Yeah, exactly. And again, the guy was crazy, but the video apparently he's saying, I got that white girl, and you're like, okay, that's the thing. As he's standing to get off the train, you can hear him talking about this. He's crazy. His mom begged for them to be put into at what point, and I do like this idea, are the judges not going to be held accountable? A bartender put this post up, which I thought was great. He goes, if I overserve someone and they go and they crash in and kill somebody, I'm responsible.
Yeah.
Why
Well,
is a judge not responsible for allowing this guy to run free?
and I saw that, everybody's like, is it time? Okay, well, that's fine. Let's do that. So let's just lock all of these people, because I've been saying, look, crazy was a part of this guy. Do you know what he was saying for the last couple months? That there had been a special chip implanted in him, and they were controlling his actions. They were talking to him every day, doing this. And so, where do we put him? See, that's the problem. We got to know where to put him.
Trump said, let's build asylums. Again, everybody hates it because Trump says
asylums. I mean, I've got no problem. I've been saying that for years, but we have to fund them.
We have to fund them.
And that's the issue. And we can't ask the federal government to fund everything. The states have to take responsibility for that.
At some point,
a judge to put somebody in prison because they're mentally disabled, they're not going to get any help. You're just keeping away from people. Now they're going to be in prison. They may die or kill somebody.
I am tired of our society falling apart because we always say we can't put criminals in jail. We can't put insane people in jail. Guess what? There could be a subsection of the jail, just like there's for high security parts of the jail. There could be kind of a crazy part. We can find a stop gap right now and say, you know what? Maybe these guys are not like your hardened criminal, but they still shouldn't be walking the streets.
Los Angeles County, the Twin Towers, the largest mental health facility in America, with no mental health professionals outside of a few. So,
so we need to, there's solutions that we can create now.
Solutions that we should.
There's no will.
No, there's no will. There's no will. And there hasn't been will since Reagan, right? Reagan's like, oh, okay, we'll open them up and we're going to fix all this. And people are going to have local people to take care of them. And then there was none of that. Just like honestly, we're going to fix immigration when he said, hey, we're going to go and give everybody this free one-time pass and then we'll fix this.
I can have compassion for this guy that thought he was being controlled by computer chips.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean I have compassion for the judge that just keeps letting him out. A guy that thinks he's controlled by computer chips.
Yeah. I mean, no, the guy was mentally not there. And I can't look at a judge and say, all right, well, so where do you want me to stick him? Well, by law, unless you guys got to start changing the laws, I can't hold him for any more than 72 hours. And if nobody can get to him for 72 hours, he's going to get out. Now, didn't the law, and we'll
this judge put him into her program. What did her program do? How did your and judge, did you make money off this in some way?
Probably. They all make money, dude.
Yeah. And nobody's going to look into it because, she's a big, Democrat donor.
No, they're going to look. People are looking into it. But they're also looking into how can you fix a system that we all know that, I walk to work every day and I pass 40 people. By the way, half of them are kids and they got their heads in their phones and they're from Vanderbilt and they're never going to look at you. The other half are, portion of them are like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm in, Nashville. And then you get, there's 10 or 15 down by the park. And there's a couple of them, man, I could see getting squirrely. They're not well. They're talking to trees some days. They're doing all. They need to be in a home.
Yeah.
Somewhere that they can be. Ed Gein, that new movie that's coming out. That's where they stuck him because they realized this guy, he ain't fucking nothing.
Well, yeah. Well, I just saw this. Him and his wife were like on America's Got Talent or something like that. It was years ago, one of those kind of variety shows. He was insane. He thought he was God. And she kind of hinted on it, even on the show. She said something, I think it was that night after the show, after they did their performance, and he basically beat her to death at a bar. And then they realized he was insane. It wasn't like it wasn't clear. He thought he was the embodiment of God walking around the streets and should be worshipped. Ding, ding, ding. Maybe somebody said something's going wrong with this guy.
Well, assume so.
Maybe we should look into this a little bit. And then the fact that she said something, he just decided to beat her to death in front of a bar.
See, and there's an example of somebody, okay, that guy's off. He's off the chain. 20 years ago, you'd be like, "Dad, fucking, you're not God." Yeah. But now it's evident. We know, like, it's not a lifestyle choice. Nobody should live like that, eating bugs and freaking wandering the streets and pissing in the corner and shitting on the street and talking to freaking the wall. That is no way to treat another human being.
Dude, but at what point, it is a slippery scale. At what point do we say, oh, I'm a woman, but you're not a woman. Oh, I am, and you better just claim I am, or it's into the world for everything.
Wow.
But you're not. No. I'm going to have to continually create this Kafkaesque and, Orwellian view of 2 + 2 = 5. And what I love in Orwell's 1984, it wasn't that the government told me 2 + 2 = 5 that most disturbed me. It was the fact that I began to believe it.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean,
that's the ultimate theory. 1984, right? Like, once you truly believe the lie,
Yep.
it's over.
But then where does it stop? Now you see it just keeps scattering. Well, these are all they're not lifestyle choices. These are people with mental disabilities that should be getting help. These are not lifestyle choices. These are not people born in the wrong. What? How bizarre! Take this back to Freud and tell Freud or even Jung that because they were partners at that time that these people were born in the wrong body. They don't have mental problems. They literally were just they're two spirited.
No,
even Jung would probably have laughed you out of his office.
Yeah,
he believed in all kinds of weird stuff.
And he was a bit of a nut. Yeah,
he was a bit of a nut.
That's I've never like when you think about those, modern, psychology. Those are the people when it comes to when we think about it in the modern times. Those two, but the reality is we're at a time where everybody gets to live their best life. Everybody gets to do stuff. That's fine. You know what? There's, I'm not worried about whether or not Caitlyn Jenner or Bruce Jenner, whoever's going to go out and fucking kill somebody. I'm not worried about that. But that was driving and that was pre. That was Bruce did that.
Bruce did. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Bruce, bitch. But it's this bizarre situation where we've got to have, or there's a slippery slope. We can't just grab people off the fucking street and say, "Hey, we think you're nuts," or
now they can't even get it's in California. It's illegal to treat someone with transgenderism and act like they need to change. And I think it's hilarious because we hear about, well, I'm gender fluid, I'm this, and all this from that side saying how it's not a solid state, it's a fluidity. So even if a transgender person came in and said, I think I want to work through this, I don't want to be transgender. Okay, let's help you work through it. Nope. No, that's illegal.
Well, 99% of those people, though, are looking for something that makes them an X-Man. They want their special thing, so they're looking
like laser eyes, the ability to turn invisible.
They don't have that. Like it's like we were talking the other day. Like, why is it there's never a cool side effect when you get a shot?
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, you may have explosive diarrhea, and you may be invisible and be able to fly with ultimate strength. That's also the other one. It's never that, but they want to be special, so that gives them a little check in the box of I'm this, I'm that, and they never. You see all these kids. None of them ever follow the bullshit. It's like, I'm a woman in a man's body, and then their boyfriend / girlfriend is a man in a woman's body. I'm like, you guys are just fucking taking the long way around to being straight.
That last guy that just shot up the kids in the church. What the most disgusting thing is, the Wall Street Journal did a thing saying, we apologize for misgendering her. And you're like, you guys are pathetic. A mass murderer killed children. And you think it's important to put a thing in your newspaper saying, I apologize for misgendering them? The newspaper scum. It was the Wall Street Journal or the New York Times, one of the two.
Might have been the New York Times. That just seemed like Wall Street Journal would do something like that.
That seems absolutely like we are in bizarro world.
Yeah, it is.
A person murdered children in church, and you care about misgendering them.
Remember, this is not about a gender, and it's always been about power.
100%.
And that it has nothing to do with gender. They're preying on people that are missing out. These same kids 25 years ago when we went to school, they would have been bulimic. They would have maybe cut themselves. Yep. They would have. They would have
been goth.
Yeah. They might have been emo, but they would have had those things. And now it's this. But the difference was they did that, and eventually you figure they're going to grow out of it, and they usually did, and they moved on. Here, though, they get stuck into something, and it was God, what's his name? The author. He's got the crazy hair, but I like him. Malcolm Gladwell.
Yeah,
he apologized. He said, "I was a coward because I didn't want to be attacked by the group." Well, that's it. They've got you. Once you change your beliefs in such a way where you're not willing to be honest or have an honest debate or conversation because you're afraid you're going to be attacked by somebody, and you self-censor even though you know what you're saying is true, it's over.
It's the minute they change the definition of love to be acceptance of all things, as opposed, love was always considered, a parental love would be discipline, not just accept, oh, my kid's setting fires in the corner of the room, I accept who they want to be. No, you didn't. You would say, Johnny, don't set fires in the room. This is how you need to behave because you loved your child. But we've turned the definition of love and we've perverted it beyond belief.
Yeah.
And now it just means, I don't care what you want to do. Oh, Johnny, you're trying to eat the cat? Oh, well, that's your lifestyle choice.
Sounds like Johnny's a serial killer.
Well, I started to say, I think Johnny needs to be watched very
Yeah, I
closely.
think Johnny's about ready to wet the bed, and he has an issue with his mom where he's
Exactly.
overly close, and he also wants to be a long-haul truck driver.
Exactly. And he's got dots on a map. We're not
That's
sure what
right.
those
I don't
dots
even know
are
what
for.
that's about. That's crazy. Yeah, that is though. That is fuck it. We live in weird times, dude.
And it's things like they said. What is it? One of the philosophers, like I'm gonna say Voltaire, but I don't think it was. But um, there'll come a point in society when truth is hated because it's saying something you don't like. And I paraphrase that, but
Yeah.
the point was the truth trailers would be hated, which I see all the time. J.K. Rowling's they hate. All she said is women should have their own rights.
You know what's interesting about that? Of all the other people they go after, they like the police. They never go to fucking Harry Potter's mom.
You know why? She's richer than the Queen of England.
Well, the Queen of England's dead, so she's got nothing to worry about there.
So
I'm
she's
also
much richer than her.
the Queen of England at this point in time.
Yeah, a lot of people are richer than her. But I
But
think it's funny. Yeah, but she's filthy rich because
did
that
she live
comedian.
there?
Oh, maybe she doesn't live in England.
I don't know.
She can probably live anywhere she wants.
Well,
Harry
yeah,
Potter made stupid
Well,
amounts of money.
yeah. I mean, what did you see now? They've changed the covers of the books,
Oh no.
and they're like, and she goes, and much like transgenderism, inside is the exact same.
My favorite thing she ever said is when they first started this, she goes, "You know what I tell you guys? You should hate me. Go out to every bookstore,
Buy
buy
my
up every book, and burn it."
Do it again and again. People are like, yeah, we're going to show you. And you're like,
Exactly. And they're like, "Oh, we'll show you."
you guys aren't really picking up what she's putting down. Where does she live?
Exactly.
I think she lives in Scotland.
Oh, she might live in Scotland, which
But
I think
still,
that's
the
slightly
same
different.
place.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's not, God, she's got to have an estate. I'm assuming she has an estate.
Apparently she has this amazing treehouse.
She lives in Edinburgh.
Oh, okay.
So she lives in Edinburgh. So, but they haven't come
Isn't
for her.
Edinburgh like a medieval town? Like they've kept it.
So it's interesting. So when you go to Scotland, there's Glasgow, and they'll talk like that's in Glasgow, Iowa, man, and then Falkirk. Edinburgh is the place in Scotland. It's the capital. But it's the place where it's the most English.
Oh,
So
it
the
is.
English were there. So their accent isn't as thick. It's very much hello, I'm Edinburgh. with a
So
little bit of
Wallace
talk.
wouldn't have liked it.
Yes.
He wouldn't have liked what happened. Yeah.
No, he would not be thrilled by any of this. No, she lives there. I'm surprised that she, she's lived there for many years. But they haven't come for they come for
Everybody.
the guy gets off the airplane last week.
Yeah.
Freaking the guy that writes Father Ted, and they take him into custody because something he posted 3, 4, 5 months ago that has nothing to do with I can smell these people.
And someone said they came at him with 5 armed guards.
Yeah,
They don't usually carry weapons, so they had to get special cops to get a comedian.
And the cops, by the way, they went and complained and said, we need a changing of this. But this is not, we don't need to storm, right? This wasn't a hijacker from freaking the 70s, right, in the Middle East that were storming the plane. No, this is a person who had probably no idea when he got off the plane he was going to be taken into custody.
I used to love England. Downton Abbey is literally one of my favorite shows of all time.
Dude, how excited are you?
I'm excited for the new movies coming out this weekend. My wife's not excited. I am, by the way.
Is it this weekend?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's going to be the final.
That's what they say.
And Lady Mary got divorced. So, anyways, enough of my gossip. But
Maybe who that is. One of them died, right?
No, not yet.
No,
No, they all seem to be there.
I thought
Even the older ones. Mr. Carson, he's going to be there.
I could have swore one of them died. One of the famous.
Oh no, the grandma. Yes, the grandma died, but she actually died before she died. They had her pass away in the last movies.
Oh, okay, just in case.
They knew. I think she's on her last legs.
Yeah, God, people that are in this thing.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah, it's coming back. But like I said, I love it. But it feels like now they're just a backward society. They're arresting people for tweets. They're
for thought crime.
They've got things on the line that says, be careful. This is where people pickpocket you. Basically, they're going to steal, and they just let them happen. There was one where 2 guys, a man broke into a house and was in the little girl's room. 2 guys came in, brought him out, and held him for the police. They let him go, and the 2 guys that got him out, they took to jail. I don't know if they're in there long, but I'm like, you are a backward society. I don't know what happened to England. Those people went nuts. Maybe there's something in the British water.
I don't know. I think a lot of it has to do with guilt. I do. I think there's a lot of people that feel that an older generation that have bought into these colonizers. First of all, they're not even very good at it, right? Like, let's be real. They colonized and then they left everything.
But I agree. They feel guilt because they're white supremacists. They're incredible racists. Only an incredible white supremacist racist would have that mindset, because you would literally feel guilty because you're so superior.
Yeah,
it's literally a white supremacist mindset.
They buy into the bullshit. And the other side
to their own grandeur.
Huh?
They have to buy into their own grandeur. Look how great I am, and I've impoverished these poor people who are lesser than me. Now I feel guilty, and I must allow the lesser people to do what they want in my society because I'm so great and powerful.
Well, and the other side of it is
disgusting thought concept.
You've allowed their, and again, I spent 10 years there, and it was, it was my second home. But I look and I'm like, fuck, if I went there now, I got off the plane, they fucking take me for the shit I've said.
Yeah.
It's incredible. And it's this. I look at. It used to be tough. And you know what? They used to be, they've allowed it to take over their society, which we look at young kids, who are like all snowflakes. We didn't allow them to take over society. We just say, if I can get on with it. They've allowed that to run. But the weird thing is, it's not the younger generation is the ones who are pissed at the way shit's going, because they're going, we can't fucking afford anything. We're freaking, we're stuck behind, people that are coming here from all over. We're in a position where life is not getting any easier. It's getting worse. They have a smaller GDP than Mississippi.
Yeah.
No offense against Mississippi. I say it every time. There are serious issues. And how are they doing? Well, Farage is going to end up winning.
I think he is. And you know what's good is hopefully Farage will take away the white supremacy concept that's currently going on. And they will say, because I believe in equality, get out of my country, you people that won't adapt and won't do, because I don't think you're special snowflakes that have been that need to have special coddling. No. I think you're equals, and if you're not going to play at equal,
if you're not going to incorporate into our society, if you're not going to meld into our society,
we're get out
into you.
Yep.
Then there's got to be a better. Go to France.
So exactly, go to France, because they'll accept. Start treating people as equals, and you'll see a rightness of society.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys aren't playing by our rules. I just watched another. It's coming in my feed. This Middle Eastern guy. I don't know what he was, but he tried to rape a 13-year-old girl, and the cops, he doesn't know what's wrong. The cops, why did you do it? I couldn't control myself. She was just really pretty.
It's that
why are
weird,
you allowing these people in?
They from where they come, there's a girl, she's on her own. This is what we would do in our society from where we come. Well, you don't live in that society anymore.
No.
If I went to your society and that was normal, okay, whatever. I mean, but this society, that's not normal.
That's not normal.
That's not what we do. And even if she was 25, also not what we do. Right?
Even if she's 25, it doesn't change it.
That is not what we do.
And it's a white supremacist concept. Yeah, Britain had a better society than that. The idea that you wouldn't rape 13-year-olds is a better society. We can't say that because we're white people, and we can't say we have a better culture. You do.
No, you do.
Because you're not raping children.
Air conditioning is better than no fucking air conditioning.
That's why America has a better society than England. England's backwards.
Yeah, even our poor people fucking have air conditioning.
Do you realize there's more people that die of heat exhaustion in the UK than die of gunshots in America? Because they don't allow, you have to get a special license to have air conditioning.
Yeah, fucking dude, you have to have a license to have a TV.
Yeah, you have a license for everything. Yeah. It's a backwards society. It's just getting worse. They're in a lot of trouble. I don't know what the hell happened to them, but a lot of Europe's that way. A lot of Europe is just,
they've gone and there are some like France. Everybody said, well, look what's happened to France. France has been that way for a long time, because France had there's Algeria and Morocco. France went and colonized a lot of places. Same thing happened with the Dutch and the Belgians. I mean, the Belgians in particular throughout Africa, they had a lot of shit that they had done. So, but I look over and I say, well, I look at Sweden. What the hell's going on in Malmo?
Right? Well, most of the births in Sweden are non-Swedish.
No.
Same with like Belgium and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Malmo. You look at Malmo, like Malmo is at a place where you're like, dude, you guys are a generation away from being not Malmo or Sweden, right? You're not there.
But again, we do put them on a pedestal, Europe. But you got to remember, Europe is where the Dark Ages happened. They had a level, and then they went into where there's a witch behind every corner, and they had amulets to make sure they could poop, and they were throwing their urine out windows, and you're like, dude, there was Roman societies with indoor plumbing, which was fascinating. They dug some of that up. Europe came basically from a lot of this, and then turned into a Dark Ages period where the Europeans became nut jobs.
Yeah.
I think it's happening again.
Well, they did. Well, I mean, you go look at the Dark Ages too. They got rid of any kind of science you could have.
Well,
right?
That's what they're doing again.
Religion got overly. The church got so much power to do stuff, and it was freaking. It was not a good time.
Now it's the religion of their
future from the Dark Age. You guys do realize we called it the Dark Ages because it was just very cloudy all the time.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just it was dim. It was just dim out.
I don't know what you guys think. Did you think we were stupid?
Yeah, they actually were.
Man, there was a lot of
ignorance.
The hell has happened to these countries? And this weekend, now Tommy Robinson is supposed to have his big event this weekend, and Tommy is maybe the most controversial. Now, he used to, in theory, he was a nutter. He was a nationalist. He was part of the National Front, I think, and that's like that. Those guys are bad news. They're the ones who I had to get Scotland Yard to protect me because we did a joke and they fucking didn't like it. So they're not good. But he's kind of got away from that. But he's still outspoken. He's very much a national. He's not a nationalist. He loves his nation. And there's nothing wrong with having pride in your nation. Do you remember a few years ago when the kids at UCI tried to get the American flag taken down because they said it made other kids from other countries feel fucking uncomfortable?
Yep. That's what's happening in England right now.
Yeah.
Their British flag, they're trying to
they're trying to get rid of the Union Jack. They say is okay, but the St. George cross is the one that they say makes everybody
and by everybody who, again, a tiny minority of the population, because not every immigrant is like, I hate that flag.
Dude,
so
a lot of immigrants are out there, they're marching with them.
Yeah,
they came from places where like we don't want to live like that.
Yeah.
Right. We came from war-torn areas. We came from places where you could apparently do whatever you wanted to a 12-year-old and she deserved it. We came from places where to get rid of AIDS, you had to sleep with a virgin. Boy, that sounds like great science. I mean, they came from back-assward stuff. They don't want that. I saw this guy out there the other day, Pakistani guy, and he's swinging the freaking St. George's, and he's like telling him, this is freaking, we came here for this. We don't want this bullshit. This is not what we're about. And and this is what I say. There are a lot of people over there that are Pakistani who are from, war-torn areas that have moved there that do not want that. They need to be the ones more than anybody else right now to stand up for England and for Britain as much as people that were born and raised there.
A post was one of those protests, and it was these two, I don't know if they're Pakistani or what, but it's two non-British people because they weren't white people. Big surprise, no matter what BBC says, British people were white. Waving that St. George flag, and a white woman, of course, telling them how they're race traitors, basically.
Of course.
And you're like, dude, that's what you want to see. If someone's going to come live in your country and they want to be patriotic to your country, the fact that they're there waving your flag is a cool sign. But of course, you're going to shame them because
you're shaming
a term for white upper middle class white women that are creepy. There's a new term going around. Upper middle, I'm gonna find it, but it's starting to go around on social media. It stands for upper middle class or upper class white women are kind of basically ruining the world, and it's become an acronym. And I'm like, dude, that's funny, because people look at it and they're like, yeah, it seems to be all these bleeding heart nut jobs seem to have a common trait. They want to steal baseballs from little kids. They want to make sure they tell you.
That was nuts.
Yeah,
that lady.
Yeah. But did she look like the perfect Karen?
She looked like if you went to Central Casting, you're like, I need a Karen. And you're like, I got one for you right here. This is it. She got the freaking sweet haircut. She got that look that says, hey, I need to speak to your manager. Did you see that? They've already done a Real Men of Genius, one of those. And she goes, the lady shows up even before the place is built with the I need to speak to your manager face.
It's the best.
That is insane. What was she? It's funny. I saw another woman say, it was right that she did this because she's probably had lots of stuff taken from her. You're at a fucking baseball game. You didn't catch the ball. It's rolling around. It's not like he took it and he fucking said, I'm keeping it myself. He gave it to his son, right? That's it.
Yep.
And you don't need, and I've been telling everybody, look, you don't need to destroy her life. Even the guy that had this happen, like, it does not destroy her life.
No, that's ridiculous.
She woke up and the world hated her. That should be enough punishment. But they already destroyed some other lady's life that kind of looks like her, that had nothing to do with it, who lived in New Jersey, who's a Boston Red Sox fan, and they had to come out and say, stop ruining this woman's life because you're mad at another person.
That's another thing our society needs to cope with. Oh, I don't agree with you. Okay.
Yeah, just move on.
No, I have to ruin your life. That's ridiculous.
Just move on. I don't like what you said.
Yeah. It was, it becomes this kind of pettiness. Like if someone does something petty, which she did. No, I'm not. I think she did something incredibly petty and jerky. But it's like, okay, I can say that's a jerky and move on with it.
Yeah.
That's jerky. All right, whatever.
Yeah.
Our society wants vengeance, but the most pathetic form of vengeance.
Yeah, it's like, dude, I'm going to call you at work and get you fired. I'm like, what? Because you don't agree with me? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, that's like, stupid.
I'm sure you probably get people that like call up and like, I didn't agree with what he said. Okay.
You know what? You know where we get the biggest pushback? This is funny. Well, the Jews get mad at me a lot, but whatever. What are you gonna do? But the nutritional overachievers.
Oh, really?
Dude, you have no idea. It's funny because I'll go into work and they're like, what are you talking about today? I'm like, I'm talking about fat people. They're like, oh my God, we're getting fucking 90 phone calls about that. And my boss is always like, dude. Because, Radio America, so I do 2 shows. You guys don't know. I do a local show and I do a national show. My national show, I get all kinds of hate, but it's just hilarious and wackadoos. But here, they have somebody to call. And they'll call, and he's just like, I can always tell. You guys got to stop saying you're going to FatCon. And I'm like, we are going to FatCon, and it's a real thing.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
It is. We're going. I said, we're all going to be thin as tube, man. We're working out hard, too. We want to be there, and we're going to go there and just look around. What's up?
Did you ever see that there was a support group online for fat, queer identifying something group, and the skinny white boy? It was for women only.
I saw him. He was freaking great. He identified as that. It was freaking.
He identified at it. It was the greatest, and they weren't sure what to do with it.
No, because they didn't want to. They also were like, you could see it spinning. It's like, well, I don't want to kick you out because if you really are that, then I'm going to be in bad trouble.
Yeah.
At the same time, I have a sneaking feeling you're making fun of us.
Exactly. Because it was a thin kid.
Yeah, the thin white kid.
It was not a caloric overachiever at all.
The worst kind of kids. You know what? Here, what was I going to read here today? Fat passengers being squeezed by the airlines because they're being forced to buy 2 tickets.
You know what? I don't have to buy 2 tickets, but when if I fly coach, which I don't, but if I did, I'm squeezed into that seat, and I feel sorry for anybody that sits next to me because I am squeezed. There's not a lot of room, but that's my problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, yeah. Hey, could you change your $200 million airplane to fit my needs?
Exactly. And it's like, okay, I need to eat less if I want to be more comfortable in this chair. What happened to personal responsibility? I don't look at it and go, how dare you, airline?
No, there's people out there. It's like those people like you and I mean, we're kind of dicks, but we always go to, was it the fat riders at the amusement park? I am amazed now, dude, that they have like actual cars out there so big people can get in to find out. Instead, like it used to be the height thing. It used to be the height thing.
Yep.
And now it's I don't think I can get this thing down.
And they have a green light. I'm going to tell you from experience. I cannot go on Harry Potter's journey at Universal Studios. It's this little chair that you have to get into because it's on a robot arm. So it makes perfect sense. It can only carry so much weight. There's 4 to 5 people in one of these things. If you put 4 to 5 me in it, it would just drag along.
It would be so funny if it went down like this and then everybody.
Exactly. It wouldn't even go up and around. It would just drag on the ground. Again, do I hate Universal for saying you made a ride that I need to lose weight to get on? No. But I do try those. Basically I'm on every Universal. That one I can't. That one literally, it's like, dude, you're still not ready for this.
Yeah.
Because most things don't use this robot arm.
No, but still, I mean, it's you didn't go and say, I'm going to have to sue you now.
No.
And you're going to have to make one robot arm that's going to be like freaking just a beast of an arm to get people around.
They should make 2 robot arms that help carry, and they call this the extra large seats. It's only 2 instead of 5. It's 2 people can sit here.
I just, because you got to get it used to be like, oh God, I got to get a hold of myself. I got to really start doing something. Now it's like, nope, you guys all need to adjust to my thing. All right. So now we're gonna have to get an extra wing and an extra freaking,
Exactly. You know what? I did. I had when I went that time, it was my wife and my niece. They went on the ride. I went and got a big gulp.
What'd you do? I went and got
I'm down in some nachos.
I'll show you. Here's a turkey leg and fucking churros, bitch.
Exactly. But to be honest, I wasn't the only fat guy that couldn't go on there. There were a little group of these fat people. Oh, how dare him say fat? There's a little group of fat people sitting, waiting for their loved ones, and the people they went with to get off that ride that they
couldn't. One of those sad things was
we all just looked at each other in shame and passed the nachos around.
It was always like somebody's over here, dude. I'm so stoked. I'm just gonna stand here all day and sell my churros. Because they're gonna be all bummed they didn't get on a ride. They're gonna be like, I'm so sad. I could eat my feelings. Would you like churro?
And he's like, but seriously, there was just a small little group. They were standing and I was just like, you know what? I think the average person realizes it's a me problem. I need to fix it.
Yes.
If I want to get on this ride, I need to lose weight. If I want to, my kitchen light broke the other day because, let's say it was flickering. I tried to fix it, so I broke it. So I went in to replace it, and I looked at this little thing I was standing on, and I'm like, And
it was looking back at you going,
exactly. I'm like, is this about to be a death thing? Am I about to go to the hospital?
Somebody film this because I'm going viral.
Because I'm going to be a few steps up. And is that thing going to be like, no, holding on for dear life until it crashes?
Oh my God, that is so.
And so I'm like, maybe this isn't the smartest thing, and I got to get one that has a little more support, not made out of plastic. My wife can use it.
Yeah, okay, look,
but I have to be honest with myself.
Yeah, well, that's a horrible thing, dude. Most people aren't honest with themselves, and we all could lose some weight.
We all, well, you know what? Some of us more than others.
Yeah,
some of us more than others.
I mean, it's like, I'm under no illusion. I'm not 22 anymore playing pro soccer. I'm freaking, I spent the last year working here, not playing pickleball 10 hours a day and doing all this stuff. So I put on like 25 pounds. All right, I had to lose it. I recognize that. But I did that. Nobody did that. The spoon didn't come over, right? And freaking jump in my mouth with freaking great ice cream on it. It's funny. I talked about Ben and Jerry's the other day, and people started texting me. And I thought it was a joke at first, and they were fucking real. It's like, I knew you would eat Ben and Jerry's because they're fucking liberals. I'm like, what are you talking about? Ben and Jerry's ice cream. Well, they're liberals. They don't even own the company anymore. It's owned by Unilever. Right? Yeah. Well, they're still liberals. Who cares? They make great ice cream.
Everybody has to stop that. They have to stop both sides. They're conservatives. I don't want to go there. Dude, shut up. Is it good food? Like In-N-Out. They got mad because In-N-Out, was run by a Christian family. They're decently conservative. Or Chick-fil-A. Dude, I like their chicken. Well, you can tell. I like their chicken. I like their burgers.
Yeah.
If they suddenly became liberals like Cracker Barrel, that's not going to stop me.
Yeah, Cracker Barrel stopped though.
Oh, did they Cracker Barrel stop?
She said, "We listened to you guys, so we're going to stop any of the stuff that we were doing."
That's smart.
People would read Hastings when Netflix was still mailing out stuff, and he decided to break it up. And then within a month, he's like, "Look, I'm rolling that back. It didn't work. You guys were mad at us because some of you still want to do both, and I thought it was going to be good." That's what good people who lead go. She said, "Look, I listened. We made a mistake." And my buddy went last weekend. He said, "Look, the new place, they didn't change like the little store a little bit. They made the inside look a little bit more sterile." He goes, "It wasn't the worst thing." He goes, "It was still packed and the food was still fine. But yeah, it was missing a certain something that, I don't go there for hip restaurant, right? Yeah. I go to a hip restaurant for hip restaurant. I go there. Like, I don't go to an 80s concert to listen to modern music. I go to listen to 80s music."
Exactly. Well, if I go to a retro diner, I want that 50s style thing.
Yeah.
If Ruby's, for example, said, "We're going to redo this and modernize it." Well, you've just lost half of your appeal.
Yeah, that's it.
You don't have the little jukebox. You don't have the little 50s styling.
Yeah. When Ruby's, just go to Ruby's, they'd throw down like 20 nickels so you could play some, all the music. That's why I went there.
Yep. It's progress is good, but not progress in what people found exciting about your brand. Movies have learned that. Iron Man's going to now be a black woman. Black Panther's a black woman. Marvel learned it the hard way. Stop changing my favorite characters.
Stop messing with memories.
Stop messing with my memories. You are now changing things because you think you're progress. You're not. You're just ruining things that people enjoy.
Yeah.
For no apparent reason. So everybody needs this, brands, entertainment, everybody needs to start saying, this is what my audience I'm catering to. I'm not going to vilify the audience I'm catering to.
No.
If I want to update it, maybe I put something new on the menu to, or something.
If you want to add, if you want a gay character, you think, write a good character that's gay, put it in there. Don't go, okay, I've decided to turn Batman gay. That's not, no.
Yeah.
It's not going to work.
Although Robin and him have a questionable relationship, I still think.
But you know what, Burt Ward, you sold me a dog, so I'm cool with you.
Exactly.
Where we used to get all of our Great Danes from. From Burt Ward, yeah. So you go out to his house out in the 909 or wherever it was, and so we go out there, and he was super cool. He'd come out, and so they had a back house, and then they had a giant front house. The giant front house was for all the Great Danes. So these Great Danes had their own big house to themselves.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. He was really nice too. He'd come out and he was, he was very nice, and he wasn't very tall. I must be honest with you.
No, he's still a bit of a boyish wonder.
Yes, he was a boyish wonder.
A little bit. Yeah.
He might have had to sit in the little thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So don't mess with people's freaking shit.
No, it's in the day, I think that the world got a big slap and it's coming back to normal. Like I said, I think America luckily has gone through its dark age. It's now coming into the Enlightenment era. Trump is what do you call it? A symptom of the Enlightenment era.
Yeah.
People don't realize that. People like to act like Trump is something other than, it's a symptom of the fact that people are trying to wake up and become enlightened.
I used to tell everybody,
tired of this.
When you'd say, you know what? I know she's got a penis, but she's a woman. And then Trump wins. And I go, this is why Trump.
Yep.
Right? Like that right there is why Trump.
100%.
That you guys caused something over here. And the only way to rectify the situation, people were like so over it going, this is why Trump.
Well, it's the whole thing's why Trump. We're tired of BlackRock owning the majority of single family homes.
Yeah,
we're tired of so many things we're tired of as a society. That's why Trump. And then of course the establishment whines because he does new things, but that's why he was voted for. Try new things because what we currently live under is broken.
BlackRock, they're the worst, aren't they?
Look at really how much percentage of single family homes is ridiculous.
Well, you know what they do too. So they'll go in this is one of the things because we did a story a couple weeks ago about them. One of the things that they do that is they go and they build like a tract of homes, like 300 homes. They will then go and buy themselves 3 or 4 of those homes. And normally they're priced at 300,000, but they buy them for 500,000, which then pushes all the prices up and everything. And then they control it.
Yep.
And it is.
And it's wrong.
It is. It's so wrong.
And
what did BlackRock? Who did BlackRock give to? Oh, they gave to a lot of Trump stuff. So let's just slow down.
Oh, I think BlackRock is hedging its bets. They're not dumb people. They're very smart.
No, they gave a lot actually.
Yeah,
lots of PACs. They gave a lot to his inauguration, and then several of them gave. We're talking in the 50+ million, 75.
You know what that is? Please don't attack us. Please leave us alone. That's what that money
is I've just bought Goodwill, so you're going to stay out of our way because the kind of money you have is a joke to us.
I think BlackRock has about $1 trillion under management.
Yeah.
They make more than most countries.
Oh, it's incredible. Did you know that we're going to interview this guy? He was just on with Sean Ryan, talking about all the churches, right? Like in all the shams that goes on. He said that one church group, and
with the M name,
maybe they are the second largest private owner of land, and within the decade they'll have $1 trillion under management. Think about that. And by the way, I worked for an amazing organization when I worked for them. They were incredible to me. But some of these, and I will say, out of all of these churches, a lot of them that you talked about, they live a much different world. But he talked about who's the crazy guy, Copeland?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, dude, he broke down Copeland when he went out there, and the guy's got oil wells.
Yeah, he's crazy. Private jets, all kinds of stuff.
Do you know why he's? You know why he had a private jet?
Because it's easier to. I don't know why.
Because he doesn't. What about the demons? He couldn't have a demon inside of a plane, a regular plane.
Well, dude, of course, I've seen demons on the plane. They take up 2 seats, by the way, but they don't pay for it.
No, they don't.
And you're like, who let the demon on the plane?
Oh my God. Who was the other? We were talking the other day about Oral. Was it Oral Roberts, the one who said that he had his prayer? He fought the devil for days up there. That's why he needed all that money because was it Oral Roberts?
I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what? There's a lot of scammers.
Yeah.
I don't put the M word in that same thing as the scammers.
No.
Most people have they're giving 10% of their money tithes.
Everybody I've ever known has been salt of the earth.
I have to admit, I really like Mormons.
They take care of their own. When shit goes sideways, man, they're there for their people in ways that I used to always say a lot of religions could learn from this. A lot of humans.
I'm not a Mormon, but I really like the people.
Yeah.
I could go into a Mormon thing and just feel welcomed.
Yeah.
Because they're nice people. And South Park even did that. Remember, they were making fun of Mormons, and at the end of the thing, they were like, yeah, you can make fun of us, but we have a nice, close-knit family. We're happy. You know, like, oh, I kind of want some of that.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. That seems like it's an okay thing.
But I think that you have the Kenneth Copelands and those kind of people that have preyed on religious people. And, you know, I don't know how they get away with it either. Because how you can just keep taking money from old ladies and buying your private jets and stuff. But I guess if you knowingly donate money to a guy who wants to buy a private jet and you know that's what he's doing with it.
That's the same thing I was always saying with with the people who give to, GoFundMe's or whatever. Right? Like if you're willing to give these people because they told you a sob story, you know the rules, you knew the risk. If you find out that their story was bullshit, that's a you problem.
Yeah.
You should have kind of known that.
Yep. And it's your free will. You freely gave to them. So I guess, if I came out and said, give me money because I want to, buy a Rolls Royce, and people did.
I know. If Jesus said you need a plane.
I need a plane. And you know what? Most people don't talk directly to Jesus like these people do. Like apparently he comes down and says, dude, you need a 747.
Well, that guy that got arrested last week in Texas, Houston, he was one of those guys where like he had like $30 million in real estate portfolio. He had like a 28,000 square foot house. He had Bentleys and Rolls. You would work for him, volunteer. And if you didn't hit your numbers on the phones, you'd have to ask him for forgiveness. And by the way, he's the only one that can essentially get you to God because he's a prophet and he's an apostle. And
that's clearly what the scripture says.
Oh, 100%.
That goes into this thing where people don't want to research anything. They just believe.
I know.
Because literally when people say that, you'd be like, let me just, nope.
No. I was looking,
I can just read a little bit of
this and say, you deserve a Bentley.
Exactly. Or that you're the only way to get to God. It literally says the opposite. So it's like, no, that's not true.
He came here and said, you know what? I got this. Right? Don't even get up. No, he's like, are you sure? Right? Like that's kind of it.
Yeah. But people just buy it and they don't research.
Well, they get sucked into it, right? And they think they're doing well. And then they I used to say, who would drink the Kool-Aid? There's fucking a lot of people out there drink that Kool-Aid.
100%. Well, you see it, it's become more and more clear when you see just our culture as a whole. People have drank the Kool-Aid and fight. Like I was just watching a thing where someone said that it's always against Trump, but someone was saying some outlandish thing about Trump was convicted of rape and he's a convicted felon of a rapist. And the woman interviewed him said, well, when did that happen? And they're like, the court, a jury convicted him of rape. And they go, and they just let him walk. And literally her little hamster spinning goes, I guess that equation doesn't quite fit.
No,
does
it was a civil trial.
But she just walked away because all of a sudden her hamster started turning. She's like, yeah, that doesn't sound right, does it?
No. People are stupid. They want to make a point. They think in their mind, it's like those people who think they got the great comeback or the great joke.
Yeah.
And like in their mind, it played out way different than when it came out of the mouth.
Like that. And you hear a lot of this. And you're just like, that's not really adding, that's the 2 + 2 + 5 multiplication. But I like the traditional. 2 + 2 is 4. That's more of a traditional take.
Absolutely. Did you get arrested yet? For those of you guys,
No, apparently the Supreme Court came out and said that I'm just going to get picked up for being Hispanic
yeah,
in LA, and I'm going to wear my sombrero, and I'm going to use those little a poncho and have those little maracas,
yeah.
and I'm going to walk around going, I don't speak Spanish. I don't know what to say, but
It's going to be horrible for you. Not even speaking Spanish too. When they send you to wherever they're sending you,
yeah.
where are they sending that guy Kilmar Abrego now? They were going to send him to Etswai or what it used to be Swaziland. We're like, wow. So he was going to go to one area now. Now he's going to Swaziland.
Well, I'm thinking of doing that because I'm going to say, where are you from? Puerto Vallarta. And I'm going to get a free vacation. Oh, really? Yeah, I was at this resort and I snuck over here and I need to go back to that resort.
So there's that.
Exactly. Oh, sir, we're sending you right back to that resort. Okay, yeah, do that.
Yeah, so it's where I was. I was born and raised there. And
born and raised there, and that's where I need to go back.
That is, you know what, like I talk about this shit all the time. Like we were saying today, that's how I started the show. I said, my uncle is so excited. He's going to buy a mower so he can get arrested.
Again, here is where racism of the left comes from. Any Hispanic is vulnerable because if you don't speak the language, you have a low-paying job. I do not have a low-paying job. I speak English fluently. That doesn't mean every Hispanic is now potentially like, you think every Hispanic has a low-paying job and can't speak proper English? Again, you racist scum.
Yeah.
Get out of your little bubbles and go meet. I was just having lunch with a buddy who used to be a janitor that I won't tell you how much he's worth, but it's multiple millions. That family, like, this is ridiculous. This guy worked his ass off, an American citizen, by the way, ended up buying real estate and just bought so much real estate that he's worth crazy amount of money because he just worked his ass off and tried it. You're trying to convince me all these people I know that do these kind of things that are Hispanic, somehow they're going to pick us up?
No, I think what they're really upset about is those people that do my laundry and my yard and who I give a little Christmas bonus to. And I'm pretty happy that they show up every week and that they seem nice. And, Christmas, they bring me, tamales. Those people probably aren't here legally. They're not thinking about anybody else. That's
been the charitable thing. What I see is just like the Democrats did before, they're taking away our slaves. They're taking away our menial labor slaves that I barely have to pay.
Yeah.
To make my life better.
I'm fighting for you so you can have that shitty job.
I'm making sure that I never have to clean my own toilet. And that's what they're thinking in their heads.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
And honestly, it comes to the point, like I said, it's no mystery that I do not lean towards the Democratic Party.
No.
That's not a mystery. But
There's
I think that I have
that no longer lean towards.
I have a very good reasons for not doing it. They seem like a party that only supports evil things.
Yeah, they're just not. They pick the worst. You can give them three choices. Like, what's the worst choice? A. Oh, fuck it. We're taking that one. We're doubling down on that.
We're going to stand behind it 100%.
Yeah.
And then we're going to vilify anybody that's against us.
What does everybody hate? A. They also hate A. They think it's the dumbest thing ever. Well, we're double doing it then because they don't know. You're like,
exactly.
Really? This is it. Right. I get it, dude. I sit there and I think, it's like there's opportunity. I look at they keep going, well, I don't know. Like, how do we talk to men and how do we get back on it's simple. Like the guy that every Republican should be going, I hope freaking Rahm Emanuel doesn't run because he could get Republicans, especially if stuff slows down and shit doesn't go right and stuff. But instead they're like, no, he's wrong. You're like, okay. We like this guy over here. And like even Mondani, I look at today, I was talking to we had a guy in who's running to be a congressperson here in the 7th district. And very nice guy, but we were talking about Mondani, and he's like, look, I get it, dude. Guy's sharp. He's young. He uses social media great. He's talking to people out there, especially in New York, that maybe the average person doesn't understand, that they're kind of sick and tired of it costing $12,000 to live inside of a cardboard box.
Yep.
Or the alternative is you live 9 hours away on a train.
Yep. And well, I feel like the Democratic Party only wants to represent a slice of America, not all America. They really will double down on a very small super minority, and that's who they want to represent. It really feels like the Republicans, because of Trump, have opened those doors to pretty much saying anybody can come in and we want to represent you because we're doing core value stuff. We want to make your city safe. We want to make you have potentially more income. There's basic things that our platform is. That's not just like we want to make sure bathrooms are non-gender and that everybody has
the stupid things, right? Like even with the crime thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Look, is Trump solving anything? No. Is it a big show? And it's a pissing contest between him and the Pritzkers right now in Chicago. And if you guys don't know anything about the Pritzkers, go look them up. But let's just say this. You want to talk about a family that is, it's the Pritzkers. You want to talk about a family that you could look at what are some of the worst things that have been done in American history. The Pritzkers might be a part of that. And the kind of money they're worth is, I think that last check was $63 billion between them all.
Wow.
That is some big ass money. That's a pissing contest between him and them. But they're fighting Trump over, like, you guys shouldn't have people shooting each other all day here. This is ridiculous. And no, Trump, we don't need to send in the freaking military. You know what? They made their own bed. They need to learn how to lie in it and deal with it. And we've got, you guys should be down there every day going, you need to vote red. You need to get this. Yep. You need to vote red. You need to do this, because you going in there, solving it for a week or two and then leaving is going to leave a bigger mess. And they're going to say he didn't fix anything, but you're fighting the crimes. Like, nope. Trump said it. Go. Yeah. Nope.
But here's my thing. I don't think that. I think Trump attempting it is going to do better for them in the polls and everything. He's already up 2 points. It's going to do polls and everything at the end of the day, even if it doesn't get fixed, because he can blame them. Look at my opposition. I tried to do something. I did the only thing within my power I tried to do. They want you to live in crime. They want you to live in a cesspool of a city. I did something. Now, maybe that's something, it doesn't work. But again, I hate saying Trump nonstop, but at least he's trying something.
Well,
instead of just saying, let it go.
He's trying something based on the fact that it's pissing off the Democrats.
He's trying something based on the fact that it's increasing.
Like Memphis is way worse murder rate, but he's not even thinking about coming here.
Memphis is also a Democrat-run city, though.
Yes, but it's in a red state.
It's in a red state, but it's a Democrat-run city.
But it still doesn't matter. He's not coming here. Because why? No, he's not coming here at all, because Bill Lee doesn't want him to come here, because that doesn't make him look good or the Republicans look good. So he's not going to come here. But it's a shitty. It's St. Louis. Same thing. St. Louis is a fucking nightmare. Not going there because it's
who has a higher criminal rate, Chicago or St. Louis?
St. Louis. St. Louis is extraordinary. Look up the murder rates and stuff. St. Louis is an extra, but you know what? Look at California. You know, one of the things about California, we talk about but one of the things that's never brought up in this, Paul, is quality of life crimes. Like, you got to leave all your doors unlocked. You got to leave your freaking trunk open so nobody breaks into it, because people are crazy as shit. And you get your phone stolen. You don't even freaking call anybody at this point in time to report it. You just go get a new phone. Like, that's quality of life crimes that there are also, they're not even reported as crimes at this point.
People like, there's a CVS near us, and we were in there just buying something, and a guy just walked out with a 12-pack of beer under his arm. And the woman said, he does it every week.
How I got onto the freaking ice cream thing about, not Bill and Ted's, whatever they're freaking called. Ben and Jerry's.
Ben and Jerry's.
I like Bill and Ted too. My wife goes up, she gets this Chipotle on a Friday night, and then she goes next door because there's Ben and Jerry's. She goes in, and my wife she does these blessing bags, and she knows all the homeless people. She goes down and gives them little blessing bags in the summer, in the winter, in the whole 9 yards. This one guy that she sees all the time, he walks into Ben and Jerry's, he goes right over the refrigerator, he grabs a pint, turns, walks out. My wife goes, he does it every week. So we just write it off, and she goes, okay, that's insane.
It's insane. And I have, I always carry extra cash because I like to give it to people I think need it. There's an old lady that was pulling cans out of the trash can. Totally wanted to give her cash. The other day, there was a guy at the Wendy's. Of course, I was at a Wendy's. I like a Wendy's burger. But anyways, at the Wendy's, and I was like, oh, it looks like he's sleeping there because he's homeless. I look over, and he's got a stupid crack pipe. I did not give him cash because I thought, at some point, you're in a bad position, and at some point, you put yourself in a bad position.
Well, you start wondering, too. This is one of the things about the homeless. What came first? Was it drugs, or was it the mental illness? Either has led you to this.
At this point, because again, like just the other day, we're driving down the street and there was a woman with a cart screaming at God. I don't know who she was screaming at. It could have been aliens, but she's in the street again. And we're like, when will California stop this? How is this a benefit to her? How is your
No
compassion
human
somehow?
should live like that.
No one should live like that, and she's going to get killed eventually
Yeah.
because it's California streets. You know, as the traffic and everybody's, you know, it's crazy. But you're swerving around her, and you're like, this is not, liberals need to be slapped in the face and given the wake up call. This is not compassion. This is hatred, because these people shouldn't live this way.
No, they shouldn't. No, nobody should live that way. By the way, before we leave, speaking of aliens, so what is it? Is it A1 Atlas? AI Atlas?
A3,
A3. Or is it A3 Atlas?
Something like that. Yeah.
So what do you
It's got
think?
straight lines, apparently.
I was watching this physicist, you know, like this nuclear physicist or this astrophysicist. They were talking to her. She's from like Northeast University. So they're like, so this is just a comet. She's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Like there was no, so it's, yeah, if you think it is, I mean, it's weird. Like it's got comet friends. That doesn't normally happen with comets that light up. Comet friends that light up.
And it speeds up and changes course.
Yeah, that's also weird. So there's that. But yeah, if you guys feel it's a comet, we're probably with you.
My favorite conspiracy
We're going to find out together.
Exactly. Is NASA was doing a live feed on it and they cut it, but there was a second of footage that they were filming and people said that they caught it. I don't know if it's real, but they said they caught it and it has straight lines.
Yeah.
Nature doesn't make straight lines.
No, nature doesn't make straight lines.
So, this much is a fact. NASA did have a live feed. They were talking about it. They started showing it and they immediately cut the live feed. Only 1 second in. So that's the facts.
It slows up and goes faster.
It goes faster and changes course.
That is not, comets don't do that. We're like, hey, we're going to go to the left. We're going to go to the right.
It has no trail.
No, has no. It's got lights.
It's got lights. Well, it's got a headlight like a train. It's on in front of it. It's lighting up its way. I'm going to tell you honestly, because I love conspiracy theories, but I don't believe them all, but I love them. This one, I'm going to wait and see. I think that there's a potential that this could be a craft. And I don't think that's crazy talk anymore. I think there is a potential that this is something that's not just accidentally flown from another galaxy into ours. Like a giant meteor or a comet or anything. Meteors don't really come outside of our galaxy though. So it'd have to be
very, very rarely do we have something go from another galaxy into our galaxy.
Yeah.
So that's why very interesting. Said, yeah, okay, that sounds good. That sounds like it's whatever you said sounds like we should go with that one.
So
would it feel better if I told you it was a comet?
Now, the other part of the conspiracy I love is they're in contact with them. Have you heard that?
No, I haven't heard that one.
Somehow like Harvard or something's in contact with them, and they say they've been here before to reset things.
Oh.
And I love that when I'm like, so are we up for another reset? Like Gobli Tepe and all these,
What do you mean like reset? Like you're coming here and you're going to hit the freaking Control-Alt-Delete button?
Are you talking Younger Dryas reset? When like the world was like bombarded and basically everything died? Are you talking about a reset like when we went from color TV or black and white TV to color TV? Yeah. Is that the reset?
It's gonna be a good reset.
That's the one I'm hoping for, not the one where basically everybody died. But it's interesting. Yeah, I love that stuff.
Oh, it's gonna be crazy. All right, I'm gonna get ready for bed.
Get ready for bed
again tomorrow. You guys have a good night. Check me out. Check out chadbensonshow.com and go check out all of the other cool stuff. We got all kinds of neat stuff there. And live tomorrow, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific, 9 to noon. And it's on the radio and everything. Later, people.